we can now begin to take a preliminary look at how NFL teams are beginning to shape up for next season.
How bright is the future for Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears right now?
To me, it's a 10 out of 10.
Let's take a closer look at 5 NFL teams facing a very dark future and 5 teams with a bright outlook on the 2026 season. Dark, Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins might have one of the darkest futures in all the NFL. The franchise is in complete disarray, and in all reality, they have been this way since Dan Marino retired over 25 years ago. After tanking for Tua and selecting the quarterback 5th overall in the 2020 draft offseason, this offseason, the Fins finally parted ways with Tua Tagovailoa. In fact, the team has endured a record-breaking $99.2 million hit against the salary cap to get Tua off the team. And if the salary cap situation wasn't bad enough, the Dolphins have a myriad of other issues as well. Miami enters 2026 with a new general manager, new head coach, new starting QB, a complete lack of skill at the receiving core, a porous offensive line, a defense that also lacks skill, poor roster depth, and will have one of the toughest schedules next season. In fact, it seems like the Dolphins are built around star running back Devon Achane and nothing else. Yeah, things are looking pretty bleak in Miami. It'd be nice to be optimistic about the new regime, but the team's history suggests that the dark days will overshadow Miami for quite a while. Bright, Denver Broncos. Things are starting to look up in the Mile High City. The Broncos officially arrived among the AFC elite in the 2025 season. Finishing the year with a record of 14-3 wasn't enough. The Broncos then added an almost magical run in the playoffs that might just foreshadow the upside of this team. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix led the Broncos to the number 1 seed in the AFC last year, but brought his game to a whole nother level when he led Denver to a victory over the heavily favored Buffalo Bills in the divisional round. Unfortunately, Nix broke his ankle in that win over Buffalo and missed the conference finals against New England. However, even with their backup quarterback starting against the Patriots for the right to go to the Super Bowl, the Broncos almost pulled out the improbable win. As we look to 2026 and beyond, the Broncos seem to be sitting in a good spot, with head coach Sean Payton firmly in place, a rising star quarterback in Bo Nix, and a new wide receiver in Jalen Waddle. Yeah, the Broncos have a very bright future. Dark, Buffalo Bills. Despite all that regular season success, the Bills have failed to make it to the Super Bowl. For many years, it seemed that the Bills always just fell short in the playoffs because, well, they couldn't get past the Chiefs. Understandable, but 2025 was different. You see, Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes was lost for the season with a torn ACL and LCL. The path to the Super Bowl had been cleared. This was their year, until it wasn't. On January 17th, in the divisional round against the Denver Broncos, the Bills lost 33-30, and another season ended in disappointment. The 2026 season would seem to be a turning point for the Buffalo Bills. Another season that ends in postseason failure, and it might be time to start asking some very difficult questions in Western New York. It would seem that 2026 could be the beginning of some very dark days in Buffalo. Bright, Seattle Seahawks. The defending Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, not only look poised to defend their title, but also have the ability to go on a multi-year Super Bowl winning streak. The weather forecast for the city of Seattle might be overcast, but the future of the Seahawks is very bright. Currently, the Seahawks have one of the most well-built rosters in the entire NFL, being led by quarterback Sam Darnold, who seemed to elevate his game to another level once he made his way to the Pacific Northwest and partnered up with head coach Mike McDonald. It also helped matters that Darnold has the privilege throwing the ball to wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, who has emerged as one of the best pass catchers in the league. On the downside, they did lose star running back Kenneth Walker III in free agency, but I mean, with such a deep roster, the Seahawks should be able to overcome Walker's loss. Their defense, which was elite in 2025, returns the same core group of players, so there's no reason to expect that unit to become a weakness for the organization. A deep roster with star players at key positions have put the Seahawks in a very good place. Dark, Arizona Cardinals. It would seem that the Arizona Cardinals are perennial entrants on these worst of lists. Things have been, and, well, continue to look, very bleak out in the desert. One of the biggest issues facing Arizona in 2026 is that, based on 2026 win-loss projections, the Cardinals have one of, if not the hardest schedules for this upcoming season. Another big issue, the $54.7 million in dead cap money incurred by releasing former franchise quarterback Kyler Murray. After 8 years, the organization decided that they'd be better off paying their quarterback to play someplace else. Yeah, those dark clouds hanging over the desert don't seem to be dissipating anytime soon. Bright Chicago Bears. The Bears surprised a lot of people and so-called experts by finishing the 2025 season with a record of 11-6 and advancing to the divisional round of the playoffs. Second-year quarterback Caleb Williams and the rebuilding Bears, to the surprise of many, seemed to arrive a year earlier than expected. In fact, the divisional round last season, the Bears took the eventual Super Bowl champs Rams to overtime before losing 20-17. Here's hoping the Bears can, at the very least, maintain the status quo for 2026 and build for 2027. Dark Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans have been on a losing slide over the past 4 seasons, bottoming out with identical 3-14 records in 2024 and 2025. As the Titans look towards the 2026 season and beyond, things do not appear to be getting any better. Second-year quarterback Cam Ward will look to improve on a rookie season that saw him throw for 3,169 yards with 15 touchdowns. While no one will confuse Ward with the second coming of Peyton Manning, the quarterback position is not one of the biggest problems with the Titans. Tennessee did spend $191 million in free agency to shore up their defense, but, other holes still exist. The front office has failed so far in providing their second-year signal caller with the pieces that he needs to be successful. I'm sorry, but signing wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson as your big offensive upgrade does not really move the needle, nor does it warrant a feeling of optimism in Nashville. If the biggest upgrade made by the Titans is their new uniforms, well, things are going to remain bleak here for a long time. Bright San Francisco 49ers. They followed up a Super Bowl loss in 2019 with a 6-10 2020 season. From 2021 to 2023, the Niners lost in 2 conference championships and 1 Super Bowl. They followed that 3-year run of success with a 6-11 2024 season. Then in 2025, the 49ers finished at 12-5 before losing in the divisional round to the eventual Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. So if recent history is to be followed, one could expect San Francisco to take a step back in 2026 and finish at 6-11 or maybe 7-10. However, I am not one of them. I believe that the future of the 49ers is a bright one. On offense, the Niners return star quarterback Brock Purdy, who has won 2/3 of the games that he started. WR Ricky Pearsall, TE George Kittle, and superstar RB Christian McCaffrey. And if that wasn't enough offensive firepower, well, during the offseason, SF added WR's Mike Evans and Christian Kirk. This is a team that should be able to outgun any opponent. If defensive stars Nick Bosa and Fred Warner can return from their injuries, well, the Niners will be in a good spot. Dark Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, the Chiefs have been the best team in the AFC, if not the NFL, over the past dozen years. But then, 2025 happened. Star quarterback Patrick Mahomes was lost for the season with a torn ACL and LCL, as we mentioned earlier. While Mahomes is scheduled to return to the field in 2026, there is no telling how effective he'll actually be coming off a major injury. And I mean, we all saw how ineffective the Chiefs' offense was without him. In addition, tight end Travis Kelce, who has been one of the best in the game, is finally starting to show his age and the wear and tear of playing in the NFL for 13 years. Now, Kansas City did add running back Kenneth Walker III in free agency to unburden Mahomes, but unless the Chiefs really start looking at the post-Mahomes-Kelce future and address some of those underlying problems, well, dark times will be a-coming to KC. Bright New England Patriots. From 2001 to 2019, the Patriots appeared in 9 Super Bowls, winning 6 of them. The 20-year Tom Brady era in New England was a dynasty the likes of which the NFL will probably never see again. It's only natural to think that the Pats would crash back down to earth once the Brady-Belichick partnership expired. And, well, it kinda happened. I mean, look at them. It really hasn't that much. Belichick kept that team competitive for the first 3 years of the post-Brady era. First with Cam Newton and then Mac Jones under center. After falling to 4-13 in 2023, though, New England parted ways with Belichick and the rebuild truly began. Fortunately for the Pats, however, that rebuild did not take long. With Mike Vrabel as the head coach and Drake May in his only second season, the Patriots returned to the Super Bowl in February of 2026. While they fell to the Seattle Seahawks by the score of 29-13, things are starting to look up in New England. Despite leading the Pats to a 14-3 record in 2025, Drake May should only get better as he grows more comfortable with the league. With the expectation that they'll add the right pieces around their burgeoning star quarterback, the Patriots have a very bright future. A very bright future indeed. But hey, what team do you think has the brightest future? Which team do you think has the darkest future? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And We really appreciate it. And if this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.